Alright, now I was told to turn the camera this way, but for some reason it's not registering that I turned it, so then it would just be on the sideway video. I don't want to have that. So, I want to make a video that I addressed this at the end of another video that I made, but I kind of want to address this issue in a video on its own, even though this is kind of what I said before, because I feel it's a very important point. You know, there's a movement that started recently. They call the alt-right. I have strong suspicions that the alt-right is just an invention of the left, because it has much more in common with the left than it has with the right. And I've said this before in other videos as well. At least in America, perhaps has what to do with what in Europe they call right wing. But the European right is also much more similar to the left than the American right in any event. And it makes me consider that perhaps the left, particularly strong people like George Soros and others like them, are pushing this agenda of the quote-unquote alt-right. They're funding them from behind and so forth, making them look bigger than they are, perhaps attracting people, and particularly how they're referred to as the alternative to the right, meaning they are not the right, they're an alternative to the right. And so many things that they have are more in common with left-wing ideology, with collectivism, racist ideology, lack of respect for traditional Abrahamic religions, all kinds of other things that the alt-right shares more with the left. And in a sense, the alt-right is just really another branch of the left, almost like how when you look into the history of the Soviet Union, so the difference between Lenin and Trotsky, and how essentially, they both basically had the same goals, just they were fighting over who's going to be the boss, So I saw a video recently, an alt-right video, that describes, what's the alt-right all about. Basically, although it never uses the word alt-right, but it's obvious that it's from one of these alt-right groups. I don't remember the name. I think maybe it's a Spencer. I'm not sure. And what is their ideology? And the essence of the ideology that they want to bring out is identity. And who are you? And not just who are you as an individual, but who are you, what is your heritage, not just as a European, but are you a Greek, a Roman, an Anglo-Saxon, these types of things. And as I mentioned in another video, Jewish people are just as guilty of the same problem. And my feeling, my refutation of this is as follows. Just my own personal feeling about this, and this is what the traditional American right, which this video was disparaging the ideas of liberty and freedom and everything that America stands on, and the traditional American ideas, and that's why they're calling themselves an alternative to the right, because it's not the right, it's an alternative to the right. And basically what I wanted to say about this was as follows. They said, look at our great heritage, the ancient Greeks, ancient Romans, this and that. And I said this in another video, but I just want to make a short video that has this here. And the same thing, Jewish people have the same problem. They look at, like I said, they think, our greatness as the Jewish people is not that we produced an Einstein or Larry David or Sigmund Freud or Jerry Seinfeld. That's not our godless. That's not our greatness. Our greatness is an Isaiah and a Jeremiah. But the Jewish people did not produce Isaiah or Jeremiah. And the Greeks did not produce Socrates. Just the opposite. The Jewish people killed Isaiah The Jewish people killed Dahan. You know, the Jewish people killed, Gedalia ben Achika. The Greeks didn't produce Socrates, they killed Socrates. It's the individuals that are the great ones, and any individual from any background could be great. And that is the heritage that we should embrace. Not this collectivism, because it's the collectivism that killed Socrates. It's the collectivism that killed Isaiah and Dahan. And, tried to destroy Jeremiah and Ezekiel and all the prophets and Elijah who ran away. That Elijah was called Oicher Yisrael. Elijah was called the enemy and the destroyer of Israel. Because when you have these identity politics, then you're an Ahab, then you're a Jezebel. And that's not what we want to be. We want to live up to people like Isaiah, like Jeremiah, like Ezekiel, like Moses, like Obadiah, who was a convert from Edom, like Ruth, who was a convert from Moab. Didn't matter where they came from. These were two nations that that even the Bible said not to accept, and yet still we accepted them. And we found ways to do it that were true to the Bible. Because we're not supposed to be extremists. The individual is what's important, and the individual is who makes a difference. And when we have a great leader, then we follow an individual. We follow a George Washington. Very few people followed him. But then we have a great country like America, thanks to George Washington. Because we created something from nothing. And that's the greatness that we have to embrace, and that's the true message, is the power of the individual and the value of the individual, and how every one of you can be great if you just embrace that. Like that movie that said, "Don't be a sucker." If anyone saw it, it's a public domain movie from the 40s. Check it out. It's a great video. The most important minority is the minority of one. All right, well, thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe.